happened? Johnny, thank you for letting me know that. Thank you for letting me know that. I was going on and on and on and on. And thank you for Johnny for letting me know you couldn't hear me. I know it's just not you. It was my microphone, even though it said it was on. But man, thank you for letting me know that, because I was going to continue to go on. Today, what I was saying is, I'll skip all the, I was saying that I hope you're blessed and that we're children of God and heir of Jesus and all that stuff. But I pray that you're blessed today. Today we're continuing on. Today we're continuing on our 3-month Bible study on the end times. We're continuing today, and today we're going to talk about cryptocurrency, about digital currency, about Bitcoin. I'm not going to talk specifically about these particular Bitcoins or cryptos, but definitely talking about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, XRP, SHIB, Doge, whatever crypto you like. We're going to talk about the overall digital currency in regards to the end times. So does cryptocurrency or digital currency, is it part of the solution of the end times? I mean, I wonder what you think. Is it part of what we are going to see the Antichrist is going to use? I wonder how many of you have thought about that, or you think that the one world system will use cryptocurrency or digital currency to rule and control the world system? Whether you've thought about that or not, I'm going to talk about it, because I do believe it is part of the whole narrative. And so let me preface today's Bible study by saying that in the last days, the Bible shows us that the world will move toward a one world government, a one world religion, a one world economy. The end times will see the world move to a one world system. And so today we are seeing digital currency, which includes CBDCs, which is central bank digital currencies, or crypto, and a cashless system. We see forms of these types of payments replacing traditional money. Johnny says, and I appreciate this, I think crypto will be a rug pull. CBDC is government wanting control. Let's talk about it, Johnny. I appreciate it. Who else is out there, man? I know we got people watching. I can't see who's watching, but I could see there's multiple people watching. Several on Facebook, several on different our YouTube channels. But Johnny thinks we're gonna get the rug pulled from us one day, and that it's not gonna be part of the system. I know for a fact that as of now, we are seeing more and more rapidly a digital way, or a way of spending money, of purchasing things. It's becoming more and more digital, right? Today, me personally, okay, can I talk about me personally? I pay and use less and less of cash. I use less and less cash. Now, that may not be that might not be for all of you, or not all of you may be in that boat. Maybe some of you love to pay with cash. You only pay with cash. I mean, I even paid the local street vendor, the guy that's selling tacos on the corner. I don't know what state you're from or what country you're from, but if you're from America, if you're from Northern California, you'll see a ton of these guys, street vendors, selling tacos. The other day, I was at a ball game on Saturday. I was at the Giants Dodgers, different Bible study, but I was there. You come out, there's like, I don't know, 30, if not more, just right there at the gates of the stadium as you exit, selling hot dogs, right? It smells delicious because they got the onions going, they got the bell peppers, they got big old hot dogs wrapped in bacon, right? I know it's lunchtime, making some of you hungry. But I just seen 30 right there. Right, I mean, just one right there. And I'm like, man, I wonder if these people have license. I wonder if these people are like, the stadium allows them to do it. Kind of surprising to me that there's so many, obviously. I mean, I'm talking about not on the sidewalk. I'm talking about right as soon as you exit the gate. And most of them had signs, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever. Like, you don't have to have cash to pay this one stop shop or one operator, just a little cart selling hot dogs. You don't need to have cash. You can do digitally. You can pay them digitally. The other day, I was walking into Walmart. Oh, Johnny sharing his little bit of Spanish. Those are good. Yeah, I didn't get one, but they smelled good. But I was walking into Walmart, and the guy selling oranges right there in the parking lot, right, didn't even speak English. He said, you know, and I somehow communicated to him, hey, man, I don't have cash, bro. You know, those oranges look, you know, incredible, but I don't have cash. No problem. Pulls out his phone. I take digital currency. So the question I have today is, digital currency, is that leading to the end times? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, XRP, you know, are these things part of the end times narrative? Boom, he pulled it out. Boom, he has digital currency, or a way for me to pay via digital currency. Now, so some of you may not agree, or that's not your style and that's not what you do. That's cool. I'm not here to preach that you need to start doing this, or by no means, right? But I just want to explain to you what's going on. What does Johnny say here? He says, man, only Johnny, you're on fire, bro. Where's all my other comments? Where's all my other people? He says, young people don't even carry cash. Johnny, I'm not young, but I don't carry cash either. I rarely carry cash. So just to explain to some of you that don't operate that way, you might say, well, why do you do this? Well, for me, it's safer, right? It's cleaner because I don't have to touch cash that they touch, and they don't touch the cash I touch. And it's convenient. You know what I mean? Just carry my phone. It's safer because I don't have cash for someone to come up and say, stick them up. You know what I mean? But it's quick. Again, it's less messy. I don't have to touch their dirty cash to get the strawberries they're selling me, because their guy was selling oranges and strawberries. I ended up buying both, and mangoes. And he didn't have to touch my dirty cash, right? But let me tell you something. This is not all by accident. Digital currency, there's a force behind it. And it aligns with biblical prophecy about how the Antichrist will control buying and selling. We'll read a scripture right now. The Antichrist will control buying and selling. So I just told you why I like paying and using digital currency, more than the traditional dollar. But let me give you why the world is starting to use it. Many countries are starting to use digital currency because fiat dollars, as they call it, fiat is just a term you might hear. It means that money that is governed and issued, money that is not backed by commodity like gold and silver. So, like, in other words, the dollar today, the American dollar, if I can use that as an example, it's not backed up by commodity like gold or so. Before, I think it was it Nixon? No, it might have been Johnson. I believe it was Johnson that said, hey, we're no longer going to have gold back up our dollar. So they removed the dollar being backed up by gold. I believe it was Johnson that did that, President Johnson. So, but the fiat dollar, right, is decentralized. And physical notes, which are physical notes. So the reason why the world is moving away from it is because the dollar is it's decentralized. It's not as centralized as a digital currency would. And as well as the physical notes, so the dollar bills that we hold, or whether you're American or Canadian or Indian or whatever you are, physical notes is much more difficult to track than digital assets. So again, we're talking about, will the Antichrist, will the one world system, or is digital assets, is that going to be part of that system? Let me tell you something. Digital currency will allow governments or global leaders to track every purchase. Because when you spend a Bitcoin or a SHIB, or even when I spend from my bank card, right, to the strawberry guy, right, it's tracked, every purchase. And so the global leaders or the governments, they will be able to freeze or block accounts instantly. Yeah, I was thinking Nixon, Johnny Ybarra. I was thinking Nixon as well. Yeah, it could have been him. It was either him or Johnson. But yeah, I think you're right. I believe it was Nixon that took away, or that removed the commodity from backing up the dollar, is what we're talking about. But if we go to complete digital asset, to a thing like Bitcoin or XRP or something like that, the government will then, all governments will then be able to track, because what happens is, I don't want to get too technical, but a Bitcoin, you have a wallet for a Bitcoin, and that wallet then can be tracked, frozen, or whatever, blocked. But it basically will enforce compliance with global policies. So as the U.S. now, amen, yeah, Johnny agrees. Yeah, it probably was Nixon. So thanks for correcting me. Appreciate that. I mean, I probably know that, but just, it's hard to keep everything on track when you're doing this. But a one world government, it needs a system that can control people at the level of survival, right? And that's look, I have an electric car. Okay, Johnny, I appreciate the feedback. Hard to think that all countries would agree on one currency. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a second. But I drive I'm going to say a digital car, right? Electric car. And what's crazy, okay, so I have to, for the most part, I have to depend on a system that will allow me to charge the vehicle. Like I can't even go to the gas station, or I don't go to a gas station where, you could just sneak into a gas station and pay with cash and put in um, gas. But when you go to charge your car, electric car, there is no currency. They don't take, well, at least the ones that I know, they don't take dollar bills. You have to use some type of digital asset in order to charge. And so the government, the one world government, needs a system that controls people at every level of survival, whether it's food, it's housing, healthcare, commerce, whatever it is. That government needs total control when we're talking about the one world. I mean, if you look at China, I'm not going to talk about that today, but China, I'll talk about it in the future. But China has major control of their people. They have something called the social system, we'll talk about later, where they control everything. And so the one world government needs a system like this, right? Let me see. Corey says millions will see that northern lights in the sky before darkness comes. Not sure what you mean by that in relation to what we're talking about, but nevertheless, Johnny says, yes, it is trackable, but not yet fully regulated. And you know what, Johnny, let me address that for a moment, because the U.S. government, I know I speak a lot from the eyes of the U.S. or from the lens of a U.S. citizen. And I know this is not applicable everywhere because different governments are in different places or phases of digital currency. But the U.S. government is making it much more centralized and regulated right now as we speak. Because several reasons, but it could be because the dollar is losing its value more and more each day. And so just to go to a digital dollar would definitely change that. All right, so let me show you Revelation 13, 16, and 17. Revelation 13, 16, 17, he says, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark. And when it says he causes all, meaning the Antichrist will cause all, both small and great. So whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're free, so it doesn't matter your economic status or whether you're in prison or you're out of prison, whatever. If you live on this side of the tracks or that side, it doesn't matter. But he says he will cause all to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except for one who has the mark. Look, Johnny Parra says, yes, it is trackable, but yet everybody regulated. I think I read that. Johnny says, yes, everything. Trump administration, so he's probably agreeing with some of the stuff I said. But listen, I went to the supermarket the other day, and not that they just put this up, but one of the things that it just trips me out every time I see it, it blows me away, is I'm trying to buy some apples, and it's saying, hey, put your palm on here and pay for that. This is the actual device. I took a picture of it. I think this was a couple days ago. Put your palm on here. You don't even need a credit card. You don't even need to pull out any kind of device or card or money or anything. Just put your palm on there. It'll charge me for the apples I just bought. Is that crazy? You want to buy these apples? Here, just put your palm here. Boom! Be on your happy way. And I look at that and go, nah, I'm good. I'm good with that. Is this part of the mark? Is this part of what we just read in Revelation? Interesting, isn't it? But going back to Revelation, it speaks of an economic, let me put it up again. Revelation speaks of an economic controlled system. And by using a digital currency system, it will be the clearest path to achieve this. So right about now, you're asking, come on, how can this be used to control the government? Come on. It's all smoke and screen and mirrors, right? You're saying, I know some of you are saying that. Well, even Johnny kind of alluded to that. It's all smoke and screen, man. It's all foil hat, tin hat, right? It's all conspiracy theory. But let me tell you something. How digital currency could be used to control the world is it sets up the ability for governments to force global compliance. You know what? I want to get back to that question that Johnny Costa said. I'm not going to talk about it today, but I think I want to talk about this tomorrow. Hard to think about all countries would agree on one currency. Well, you know what? I'm probably going to talk deeper in this, but that's a good question, and I want to address it briefly because it's not even the government. Right now, the government doesn't control that. I mean, some governments have regulated it to a certain point, but it's the people really that controls Bitcoin. I'm not going to get too technical here, but I could buy something from someone in China with Bitcoin. I don't have to get the US involved. They don't have to get China involved. I can do it right now. So it's not like whether China and the US is going to agree on Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. Bitcoin is worldwide. Digital currency or cryptocurrency is worldwide. There's no regulations, and that's why America or governments fought it so hard initially. That's why people went to prison, because they were using cryptocurrency. I mean, it was used for dark reasons, a lot of dark reasons, meaning like people that would use it on the dark web and things of that nature. So, that wasn't good. But and maybe that's why the government came down so hard. But they also came down hard because they had no control over it, and they don't have control over cryptocurrency. They don't have it's. I say the people because it's on. If you have Bitcoin, it's on your computer. It's on someone else's computer. It's managed by computers in Utah and China. It's very complex, and I'm not going to. Again, I don't want to get too deep into that because it's very. We can go down a rabbit trail on that, but it's not controlled. So yes, I'm going to probably spend some more time on that later. But you're asking how can and why would this be used to control the world? Because I said it allows the governments to force global compliance. So once the world agrees on digital currency, because the Antichrist will bring a system like this, right? I believe it's this system that it's going to use. But those that are refusing the mark, those that refuse to put their palm, let me show it again. Those that are refusing to put their palm, the technology's there. You want to buy these apples? You're going to have to put your palm there, bub. For those that maybe have just joined us, this is a picture I took the other day at the supermarket, wanting me to just put my palm on that put my palm that's the bomb on this little device, and I could buy those apples. Now, I'm not saying that if I use that, I then took the mark, because I didn't take the mark, but I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going to put my palm there. Let me pull out. I'd rather pull out my other digital asset and use my phone or my card. In this case, I think 95% I use my phone. 95, probably more. 98% of the time when I buy something, I use my phone. Even the oranges in the parking lot of Walmart, I use my phone. Because I told you the reasons why I do. I'm not going to get into that again. But if this is the case, once it's worldwide, you're not going to be able to buy those apples. I'm not going to be able to buy those oranges in the parking lot, because the government, the Antichrist, would have a system in place where everybody needs to pay, or everybody is going to be controlled by the currency of the Antichrist. I'll say it that way. Do I believe Bitcoin right now is, if you use it, you're part of the Antichrist? No, I'm not saying that at all. But it will be a system that will be used by the Antichrist to cut people off from the economy, cut people off from charging their electric vehicle, or even putting in gas, cut people off from instant, or being able to punish people instantly. With digital money, right? If you use digital money, your account could be locked. Right now, now we don't see this too often right now, if at all. I don't think I've seen it in my life. But if you, like I just said, I use 95% of my iPhone because there's Apple Pay on there. It's the most convenient thing. It's, I love it. I love it because it's so convenient. It's safe. Like I said, it's cleaner. And I could use it to buy oranges, or I could use it to pay my bills. But the government, once they have full control of this, once they make it mandatory, look at, I'm not going to get into this today, but the U.S. Right now is working on the digital dollar. At some point, it's going to be all digital dollar. You can mark my words. The U.S. right now is working on that everything will be bought, sold, used from or you need to buy or sell something, you need to go to the digital dollar. I don't know how quickly it's going to come, but it's being worked on right now. And so let's say that's the case. Let's say when that is the case, the government then control everything you buy, everything you sell, because you're having to use a digital dollar. I mean, unless you have God's money. You say, what's God's money? Gold and silver, Zechariah 2, I believe it is. Gold and silver is God's money. I mean, unless you use God's money, you can go buy a loaf of bread, you have some gold, or you have silver, or whatever. But they'll outlaw that. So basically, what it's going to come down to is they will be able to lock your account. They will be able to refuse you of buying or selling if you don't follow specific rules and laws, and or unless you're worshiping the beast, the Antichrist. You won't. I pray we're not here, but you will not be able. Oh, I'm way over. Oh, or I'm not way over, but dang it, I am. Okay, we may talk about this for a couple days. Johnny, yes, I gotta go, guys. I see your Bitcoin angle. China tracks every aspect on their citizen. It is done in China. Yes, I can go on and on. We're gonna continue this tomorrow. Hopefully you join me, right? Tomorrow. I didn't realize it was so late. I was just going. Yeah, I mean, I have so much more to say about it. Yeah. Listen tomorrow. Okay. Good questions. Have some questions tomorrow. And if I can't answer them tomorrow, I'll get to them. God bless you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.